very much so into you, but they feel like right now isn't the right time. Maybe they've got a lot going on, or maybe they can tell that your life is pretty chaotic, or you've got too much going on. We've got you inspire me. I am waiting patiently, and I find you so attractive. So no question at all in terms of whether or not they like you. And I love that it's balanced out with the you inspire me and I find you so attractive, because this isn't just somebody who thinks that you are hot. This is also somebody who is thinking about you from, you know, a standpoint of, do I get along with you? Do we have similar viewpoints? Could we mentally and emotionally align? So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. You can find it in the description box along with more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. You can also find a link to my Etsy shop if you are interested in a homemade soy candle. All right, what shall we start with? We're gonna go with the Wild Reflections Tarot. What else do we have? Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Dracula. We have the Fool, the Ten of Cups in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles. There is a fresh energy here, but with the Ten of Cups in the reverse, this is somebody who may have just recently gotten out of a difficult situation. Maybe there was drama around your living situation. Maybe you were literally in a romantic relationship that has ended, but they feel like there is a way to nurture something real with you once the dust settles. But there's definitely some sense of, you know, things are not settled, or I had to make a big change. Maybe you're starting a new career. Maybe you just graduated. Hello, Steven. Hello, Synthesize. How are you doing today? So we have the Three of Cups, the Sun in the reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. I think there is a little bit of wanting to know, like, the lay of the land, wanting to make sure that there is a friendship established first between the two of you. And then with the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like there's a little bit of a blockage here, right? A little obstacle here. So once that is cleared up, once that is removed, then it seems like the relationship can potentially be pursued. Hello, Redbeard, how you doing? Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. So I will wait, I will be patient. I know there are things that need to happen first, but then we're gonna have this Ten of Pentacles, which is a long-term relationship. So they seem to be pretty strategic. I know there are things that need to happen first, even though I do feel this strong attraction, and even though I do feel like there's a lot that we have in common. I don't want to rush things, or I don't want to make you feel like you're dealing with too much at once. So we have this King of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Because if I rush in, if I make too fast a move, then I might lose this opportunity to actually be with you. So let's, you know, make a list and check it twice. Let's allow for the things to happen that need to happen, whether that's someone graduating or maybe having an important conversation with family, finding a new place to live. It's like this is not the solid ground that we could build a strong relationship upon, so I have to wait until that is an opportunity. Knight of Swords in the reverse, but they're struggling. They're waiting patiently, but it's like kind of turning into impatient. Knight of Swords in the reverse and the Six of Wands in the reverse. Because if we try to rush things, maybe one of you is going through a divorce, you know? If we try to rush things, then it's just going to end up being a bit of a mess. Hello, Amir. Hello, Magic. How we doing? No, I don't. We have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. And the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, there's patience here. I know what I want. I have a sense of direction. I know there are things that need to happen first, or I'm waiting for you to, you know, get through the task list that you have. But once that happens, then this Six of Pentacles, it's like, then it's gonna be amazing. So they might have some insight into how you feel about them. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot. What else do we have about this crush, please? Hello, Battery for Life. What's up? So we've got Queen of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. There's some sort of challenging element pertaining to stability. Maybe there is a person here who has been laid off, or someone who has some theft that has happened, or a falling out with the family. But there's definitely a need to reestablish some sense of stability, figure out the path forward. So it's just like not a good time, right? We have the Hermit in the reverse and the Ace of Wands. But there is a way around this. Whatever this like sour energy is, or this like dark cloud, I feel like it's someone who is leaving. Or you or your crush, or the person who has a crush on you, someone here is like, all right, adios. I'm going to go find something different because this isn't working for me. Could be job, could be living situation, could be a relationship. But while they're in the process of navigating that path away from a person that has been rather difficult, there's this opportunity for something new. But especially if this is someone who's getting out of a serious relationship, this King of Wands is smart enough to realize I have to be patient, because if I'm not patient, you don't get time to heal. Or things could get more complicated, especially if there is a divorce ongoing. So I have to wait for the right time, and then I will communicate how I feel. Page of Wands. So go on, do the things that you need to. I'll be over here just kind of, you know, biding my time. Five of Swords. Three of Wands. And then when the time is right, I will let you know how I feel. Five of Swords, Three of Wands. Five of Swords is like, okay, you got stuff going on. There's someone here who's trying to make things difficult, and you're handling it, you're dealing with it. But once you cross that bridge, or once there is, you know, a sense of things calming down, that would be a much better time for me to admit that I have feelings for you. Hello, Alona. Hello, Tiana. How are we doing today? Three of Pentacles in the reverse. and the Hanged Man. Wheel of Fortune. So I've had to be patient. I knew that there were changes happening in your life. Three of Pentacles in the reverse could refer to a job, right? Not working out. But once everything aligns, once that difficulty has been resolved, then I'm going to speak up. Then I'm going to let you know how I feel. I'm going to make it clear that I think you are quite attractive, but also that I find your character very attractive. Three of Cups, Two of Cups. Is this someone asking for a date? These are such beautiful cards. Very like mermaidy. I love this though because it's almost like there's like two trees that are hanging out together. So we could be dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. I guess the patience is coming to a close. And the Ace of Cups. So I have been waiting. I've been holding back these feelings. I've been aware that it was important to find the right moment. But then when I see that the moment is here, I'm going to, I don't know if I want to say pounce. But I'm going to make it clear I'm interested. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I'm going to shoot my shot. All right, let's get a few from the Fairy Lenormand. Oh, you got this, Tiana. Bianca, you can add your question to a super chat, but for now we are doing the general reading, and that usually goes for about like another 20 minutes. You can scroll down and see, I know it's Dana, but the name is appearing as Daniel. Just did a super chat if you want an example of that, Bianca. But welcome to the live chat. Nah, it's okay, Redbeard. Hello, Shalini. This is a general reading, but feel free to add your question to a super chat. I'll do it after the general reading. Dana, thank you. Let me add that for you. Oh no. I'm so sorry to hear that. Overnight from Bond's card. Who took it? How it went missing. Yeah, I would be surprised if someone told you everything, right? But I do hope you get it back. I've got that question added for you. Hello, Ronnie. How are you doing? Hello, Michael. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Guru. You can put your question in a super chat and I'll pull some cards for you after the general reading. Hello, Nawaji. How are you doing today? Yeah, so somebody is getting a little love note or a little expression of interest. We have the woman and the bouquet. Doesn't even mean that we have to have a woman involved here, but we have someone admiring the beauty or expressing that they are attractive and intrigued. I had a bit of a wait, but now it seems like the time is here. And I'm going to make sure that I express my interest. Hello, Leah. How are we doing today? Let me add that for you. Yeah, I think you're right about that. What did they think? I'm adding that for you. And sending you protective energy. All right, so with this cross, it could mean the dark night of the soul. It could mean that the thing that they have been waiting for, our King of Wands might be waiting for someone to be able to grieve or set up a new life after someone has passed away. My condolences if that's correct. But I do feel like this is waiting until there has been some forward movement, and that could be primarily emotional, right? I've dealt with all these stresses, or I felt attacked, or I felt like I had to go no contact with my family, or I had to divorce someone. There's something here where it's like, let that blow over, let that get managed, right? And then I will approach you, or then I will talk to you about how I feel. I want this one. Okay, I think it's Visconti di Moderna. I don't know if I'm saying it right, you guys. But it's Visconti, okay? It's one of the Visconti ones I have, which basically means it's one of the very first. And it's pretty because it has foil on it. Hello, Lola. How are you doing today? Let me add that for you. Is there any new love for me this month? This month. I've added that for you. Lola, I'm pretty sure you've been here before, but just in case you are new, the personal questions will start in about 15 minutes. Hello, John. How are you doing today? Hello, Carrie. How's your day? Oh, my. No, come back here. I have cards trying to escape. Go it. All right, so we have the Five of Swords in the reverse, the King of Cups in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands. So I know you were dealing with a lot. I know that there was some emotional frustrations, maybe with somebody who is quite immature. Maybe you were dealing with someone that was, you know, ineffectively apologizing. But we have someone waiting until this emotional turmoil is dealt with. I don't want to interrupt you when you're trying to deal with something that's kind of heavy. I don't want to add to your plate when you've already got so much going on. But once I see that green light, then it's like, okay, ready, set, go. Ten of Cups in the reverse. I think we have someone who went through a major breakup, is grieving someone, or had to move away. And they're reestablishing their situation. Now we have the Queen of Cups. So I'm more comfortable now after things have changed. Maybe I'm in a new living situation. Maybe I had to move away from the social community that I had. Maybe I needed to establish my own business. But we have somebody here who's like, okay, I think the frustrating times have passed. And now I have a greater sense of stability with the Queen of Pentacles. Doesn't mean that this person has to be a woman, but we have someone who feels like things are calming down. Hello, Anthony. How are you doing? Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Is this the Empress? I don't think this is the Empress. But it could be. Sorry, y'all. I'm still learning some of these cards. It's interesting because we have 4 people around her. I just feel like there's so many people that have been asking for things to get done, or, I don't know, borrowing money, or, you know, working every day, trying to figure it out. Ooh, this is my favorite card. So we have the Ace of Wands in the reverse, and then the World. So whatever had made it so that this patience needed to be respected, or this timeline wasn't quite right, now it's like, okay, there's a resolution here. There's a divorce that has been finalized. There's a new place of residence. The arguing is coming to a close. The financial issues have been dealt with. So we have the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. So we're making it better. Yeah. So now I think I can actually confess my emotions. Now I think I can actually come forward and let you know what's going on. There might be a gift. We have the 6 of Cups. Why the 3 of Cups in the reverse, though? I think we might have a jealous ex, a jealous third party who thought maybe that they would have an opportunity, but they missed their opportunity because this King of Wands is waiting. The King of Wands does not need to be a man. But this is like, there's more than one person who's hoping to be able to express their interest. And I feel like there's someone who misses their chance because this King of Wands is like eager. Here's the Fool. Like, okay, is it a green light? Now I'm going to go ahead and move. Now I'm going to, write you that letter or tell you how I feel. Hello, Emma. Thank you for the flower. Hello, Noah. Thank you, Bianca. Let me add that for you. Should I reach back out to R? And unblock him. To have a new beginning. With him. Thank you. I have added that for you, Bianca. And we're at like maybe about 10 minutes out from personal questions. All right, let's see what else we have. This is the Royal Fez, the Moroccan Tarot. Thanks for being so empathetic to Lee's situation, Dana. I appreciate seeing that kind of thing in the collective. Queen of Swords. Judgment in the reverse. 4 of Wands. Yeah. So I was unwilling to accept any offers. I was not interested in any love. There was going to be no, dates scheduled. I wouldn't have time to communicate with you. But now with this Four of Wands, we have somebody who's saying, okay, I think things are settling down. Now I have, a new routine established. But there's someone here who is frustrated at this King of Wands because I don't know if these two are friends. I don't know if these two like encounter each other or like are somehow aware of each other. But I feel like there's someone here who communicates their interest in this Queen of Cups energy, the one who had been rather busy. And another person is unable to or feels like, dang, that person like took my bitch, like that's not fair. Like I thought I had a moment. I was, okay, you know what? Grumpy Old Men is a perfect example of this because when Anne Margaret moves into town, both the homies are interested, right? Jack Lemmon and Mathau? What's his first name? I can't remember what their names are in the actual movie, which is sad because I just watched it like a couple months back. But it's hilarious. And even the dude who owns like the tackle shop, they're all interested in her, right? So maybe we got someone new to town and there's multiple admirers. But there's a sense of pressure here. We have the Devil in the reverse. Okay, clean slate, started a new chapter. Everything's great. I moved in. So the watching and waiting, this would be like the old dudes standing at their window looking through their blinds watching Anne Margaret as she like hangs out in a hot tub and then comes out and rolls around in the snow in her swimsuit. Like they're all just like there's more than one person here. Ten of Swords in the reverse. And then this King of Wands recognizes, like, as soon as the mood changed, right? As soon as the, like, green light comes on, they're like, bet, I'm ready. Let's go talk about this. Hello, Striker. How are you doing? Hello, Pharaoh. I hope you're having a good one, Pharaoh. Hey, Kian, I'm sorry that you don't understand my personal beliefs, but I don't need you to understand them in order for them to be, like, valid, right? You don't have to ask me for permission either. I hope it goes well for you, Tiana. Hey, Unicorn Jungle, how we doing today? So we got the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. There is competition, and someone else here has been holding back their emotions or trying to find the right moment to pursue. And maybe they're at work. Maybe they got other things going on, right? And they look out their window again and realize that somebody else is knocking on Anne Margaret's door. Somebody else has expressed their interest and like beaten them to the punch. This is the Casanova Oracle. I hope so, Tiana. Fingers crossed. Hello again, As We Go. You seem to show up and only contribute numbers or emojis to the live chat. I would really love to see something that looks like actual communication from you because it seems like pretty frequently you just end up getting bounced from the live chat. So go ahead, say some hellos to people, integrate, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to think you're a bot. There you go. Great names too with the alliteration there. So we have experimentation and spectacle. So we have people that might be making a bit of a spectacle in their rush to try to express their interest. But this King of Wands was very perceptive, waited for the right moment, and now they're the ones getting attention. But in that movie, Anne Margaret was also not quick to choose someone. Ooh, I think the tackle dude's name was Chuck. I think he was the one who owned the fish bait store. Well, I hope it's going well for you, Unicorn Jungle. We got a lot of nudity in these cards, so forgive me for not showing you everything. YouTube clutches pearls a lot. So we got surprise. It is just a big old booty. I had to cover it, sorry. But there's also someone in the mirror back here. I think this is just like in Grumpy Old Men. Someone else took a little too long to express their interest. And they're watching as this King of Wands has already made their move and already like gone into Anne Margaret's house. And they pull down the shades, right? Like, sorry, you snooze, you lose. It could be that this Queen of Cups, once, you know, things settle down, is not interested in having like a whole slew of dates, but figures out who they want rather quickly. Where are we at? 32? Let's see, what do we want? We're gonna go with the Love Oracle. You'd be surprised, Unicorn Jungle. I do have to like just kind of tread carefully. Some of them, I guess, look a little bit more realistic than others. But you'll see some tarot readers that literally have little like pieces of tape or paper like over the body parts, you know? So we have second chance, hoping, and clarity. Oh, so this person who was hoping to come back around to this Queen of Cups, but is, you know, out of luck because someone else gets there first. This is someone who is trying to reconcile with the Queen of Cups. They've been trying to manifest a second chance or reconciliation, and they had kind of like collected their thoughts, maybe even in a letter, to try to have this reunion. But it looks like they don't get their chance because there's someone else, this King of Wands, who gets there first, who has this longing. But this would be someone who I feel like the King of Wands has not already had an opportunity with this Queen of Cups. And there is an awakening that happens as a result of this connection between the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups, which results in the Queen of Cups pushing away the other offers or not being interested in these other individuals. And it leads to commitment with the King of Wands. So, I don't know, you know, sometimes there are people who are in long-term relationships and there are interested parties that are waiting for a relationship to end or waiting for things to settle so that they can express their interest. This is not somebody who's interested in having a roster. They want to be in a commitment. So when they see the true or like good intentions from this King of Wands, it looks like they just kind of jump right into a relationship with this individual. Yeah, it is. They are Renaissance spicy. It's true. Another one that is a bit spicy is this Cagliostro. but it's more realistic. So here I am just showing off the nudity of the cards. Because it's a lot more realistic. Again, I can't show it to you. I worry more about these than like the Renaissance ones. These naked people are like oiled up too. Anyways, thank you, Gracie. Let me add that for you. And we're gonna get started on those personal questions here. What does Jay feel for me? When will I get an apology? Does he feel my energy too? Is he focused on a new person? Or still has Gracie on the mind? Awesome. I've added that for you. Thank you, Gracie. Hello, Cassius. How are you doing? All right, so we're going to start with Dana. Dana, we're going to go with the Dragon's Tarot for you. So Dana's phone has gone missing overnight from Vaughn's car. Who took it? Who took Dana's car or phone? Sorry. A car would be a little bit easier to find, I suppose. Who took Dana's phone, please? We have the Hermit, the Emperor in the reverse, and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. I'm getting heavy masculine energy, so I do think this would be a man. Unless you know a very masculine woman. This is somebody who likely is already known for being a bit of a snoop or getting into people's things that are not theirs. Why the Emperor in the reverse? Is this someone trying to exert control? No, this is someone who has a lack of control over their own life. High Priestess in the reverse. They're trying to figure out a secret. I feel like this is a man who's trying to figure out what you're up to. And the Nine of Wands in the reverse. Is this saying that someone is trying to get into the phone but cannot? No, I think they tried and then eventually were able to get into it, but initially it was a bit of a struggle. I do feel like this is someone who has been going through some difficulties with regards to their relationships. So is this like Bond? I don't think it's Bond, but it could be someone who's protective of Bond or trying to figure out what he's doing. Thank you, Unicorn. I'm sorry I said your name wrong. Cassius, I will say it that way. However, keep in mind there was like Cassius Clay, right? You're welcome, Carrie. How did it go missing? This is intentional. Someone saw it and saw an opportunity and felt like they could solve a little bit of a mystery. So there's someone here snooping on you, trying to figure out what's really going on because they feel like you're not being honest or someone else is not being honest about what's going on. So snooping is absolutely the intention. And I don't feel like this person wants to give it back to you. I feel like they're trying to like capture some evidence basically. So they might be taking pictures of the phone or sending messages. But I do feel like after a bit they were able to like access the information they were looking for. I hope you get it back soon. But this person seems very intent on getting your information. Hello, Jamike, how are you doing? Hello, B, what's up? Well, I would say that Redbeard is a little bit perceptive. Just a little. Hello, Carly, how are you doing? All right, let's see what we've got. We've got Lee up next. This is the Marseille Cat Tarot. Did Lee humiliate herself in court yesterday? No. This is more like, I'm telling the truth. And none of y'all want to listen, so I'm going to say it louder. I think it was viewed as justified, even though it made others feel uncomfortable. If you don't get upset over your child being in danger, then that's the problem, right? If you're going to lose your patience because you want to make sure that your child is safe, that's something a lot of people understand. So we have this King of Cups and the Page of Wands in the reverse. It is for the love of your child that you lost your patience. It is because you want your child to be safe. And so, yes, it made people uncomfortable, but people get it. It's like, I understand what happened there. Thank you. Spartan that wears a sombrero. That would be pretty excellent. You're welcome, Dana. I hope you find that soon. Did I say hello to Magic? Hello. So while, yes, there are people who were sweating a little bit underneath the collar, it was needed to have been said. It was needed to remind them of the work that needs to be done because this is an important situation. So with the Lovers card, this is like, hey, maybe to you, this is just black and white on a court document and you're making your decision and, you know, remaining distant from the realities of what happens when you make that decision. But for Lee, but for you, right? This is my life. This is my child, and you're putting my child at risk. So, like, yeah, if I shake you up a little bit, you should understand why. So you're reminding people of their duty. You're reminding people that if they were in your situation, they too would be upset or frustrated. So what did they think? Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Five of Swords. They thought, okay, so maybe I need to have a bit, like a greater appreciation for the weight of this. Maybe I need to be a little bit more decisive. Maybe I need to think about things changing sooner instead of letting things play out. Maybe I need to admit that somebody here has not done right by their job. Or maybe many people have not done right by their job. The father and the people who are in the courtroom. Maybe we need to admit that we are making this situation more difficult by not making a definitive judgment or decision. So does this mean that there are people who are thinking they need to like give full custody? Yes. Six of Cups can be a card that has children on it. So this is somebody who, I feel like this is just you woke them up. So yes, it was uncomfortable, but sometimes people need to be made uncomfortable before they realize the gravity of the situation, right? ¿No hablas español? Qué lástima. Pero todavía puedes entender? No. Aprender? I think that's the one I wanted. You can still learn. Lee, my heart is heavy for you, but I feel like this was necessary yesterday and it's going to move in the right direction. You had to make people a little bit uncomfortable. That's just like what needed to happen. So hopefully, like you said, hopefully it was a little difficult for them to sleep thinking about what's really going on as a result of their like dilly-dallying, right? So if y'all can send some protective energy towards Lee and her daughter, I appreciate it. And the camper. And then we have Lola up next. Let me write down this additional question for Gracie real quick. How will my further dates with N go? I've added that for you. Thank you, Gracie. For Lola, we've got, is there any new love for Lola this month? Yes. More than one. So we have... Really? Okay. So Lola, we have choices. 7 of Cups. But it may feel overwhelming for you. Nudity. You are this 2 of Wands in the middle. And the reason I said really is because we have an Emperor and an Empress. And you might be like, well, that's cool. I know who I'm attracted to. I'll choose. But let's keep in mind, Emperor doesn't have to be a man. Empress doesn't have to be a woman. What I'm seeing is someone who is more bold or someone who is more like in pursuit versus somebody who is more capable of dealing with emotions. So I don't know who you're more attracted to as far as genders, but I'm going to tell you right now, the better option for you is the Empress. And I feel like the fact that you are facing this Emperor means you might be more interested in someone because they pursue you more assertively, right? Because you're facing the Emperor. But I think this Empress that you are potentially going to like sleep on or not be as interested in is the real love coming your way. So don't be too impressed by someone for being able to pursue you assertively. If that also is, it could be like a little bit of a flash in the pan, right? The reason many visionaries are good at being entrepreneurs is they can start something. But when it comes to carrying it out over a long period of time, they lose interest. So the Emperor might be able to spark a flame within you, but can they actually pursue a long-term relationship with you, or are they just looking for a good time? This Empress individual, again, does not need to be a woman, is somebody who has more long-term intentions, but it's like you're not necessarily as interested in them for perhaps like physical attractiveness, or because you have this, like, I'm not sure what you're actually looking for. But the person who pursues you more assertively is also the type to be distracted easily. No, not from Florida. Hello, Neo. How are you doing? So be cautious, Lola. There is this potential that you could reject the person who is actually more serious about you because they are more respectful in their pursuit of you. Sometimes we get the wires mixed when we're trying to figure out how serious someone is and look for the wrong indicators. All right, let's see what we've got for Bianca. This is the Marigold Tarot. You're welcome, Lola. Hey, Nat Nat, how's your day going? Should Bianca reach back out to R and unblock him? I'm getting no. Is this a matter of time or like a permanent? This is showing up as it doesn't look like there is a benefit to you to continuing a relationship with R or starting a new beginning with R. With the Queen of Cups in the reverse, this is someone who is still not fully capable of communicating or acting on their emotions. They have the wrong perception in their mind of what a relationship should look for. And right now it looks like there is something happening that to you, it's like it seems more appealing because you're thinking about the positive elements of the relationship and maybe forgetting the negative. So with Page of Cups in the reverse, basically this is saying you don't need to look backwards. There is something else in front of you, but because you know the past, you're drawing back on that. So is this suggesting there's a new love coming towards Bianca? Yes. There is a long-term relationship that is within your grasp, but you need to be looking forward instead of in the rearview mirror. So the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords is basically saying, maintain those boundaries. Keep the block in place. With the Knight of Swords, you don't have very long to wait until there's a new person showing up in your life who is capable of this emotional connection. And if you were to reassociate yourself with this person from your past, you will effectively block this new love from being able to take root in your life. Tell me about this new love, please. It is important to keep R blocked and let go of that energy, release that energy if you want to participate with this new individual. I don't think you know who this person is yet. I don't think you've met them. They show up when you're dealing with some sort of frustration. So the reference in my mind is the movie with Michelle Pfeiffer called One Fine Day. I don't remember it very well because it's been a long time since I have seen it, but what I'm seeing in my mind is when Michelle Pfeiffer had, I think it was like coffee spilled on her shirt, she ends up having to change into like a dinosaur t-shirt that looks like a crop top on her, even though she's trying to like look professional. And there's something here that this new person does to help you when you're feeling stressed out about other circumstances. And then we have the Empress card. They help you to feel like you've got everything managed when you are having a hectic day. It's not even about trying to be your savior. It's that they're letting you, like empowering you to change the direction of your day. But if you go back to the old person, if you go back to R, then you miss out on the new love. So forward facing, not rear view mirror. I hope that helps. Let's see what we've got for Gracie, shall we? We're gonna go with we're gonna go with the nudie one, the Cagliostro. I hope you're okay with that, Gracie. Yes, I agree, Magic. It might be over for you, Redbeard, but it ain't over for us. It's gonna be another scorcher today. So for Gracie, we have, what does Jay feel for Gracie? Ooh, let me add that one before I dig in. Thank you, Unicorn Jungle. Surprise / guidance. Is the ex still emotionally invested? Remorseful? Or moved on? Is it time to let go of the nursery? I've added that for you. Thank you, Unicorn Jungle. Hello, Vaccinator. How are you doing? I feel you on that one. We definitely need some cooler days. We're supposed to get a bunch of rain over the next week after today, I believe. So that should help. I wouldn't say that any zodiac sign sticks out, Bianca. However, keep in mind this is someone who isn't trying to be your savior, right? Solve the mystery for you or protect you. This is someone who empowers you to take over and feel empowered, right? So that's the biggest key. Someone who enables you to get done what you need to. I don't want to limit it too much. But I will say this, they probably do have air sign placements. I feel like they're very smart, very possibly analytical. All right, so what does Jay feel for Gracie, please? Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. The stars. Interesting. That is actually the card that I was showing you. This deck does too much with the nudity. Still very attracted to you. I'm trying to figure out a respectable way of saying this. Still thinks about you at night? Does that help? I hope you get my meaning. So many inappropriate ways I could address that if YouTube wasn't such a pearl clutcher. Which is funny because you have pearl in your name. Look, this is somebody who is trying to remain focused, but struggles. There's, like, I want to be unbothered, but I am, in fact, quite bothered. Let me add Nats. Need to know about person coming in love. Sorry, Gracie. We've got Death in the reverse. Six of Wands in the reverse. And the Six of Pentacles. So this is like, I'm trying to match your energy. That's how he feels, right? I want to match your energy and feel like it's okay, but I'm a little worried that it's also about finding someone similar to you. Still a little bit hopeful that maybe things aren't quite over with Death in the reverse. There's a sense of unfinished business. Definitely some physical attraction, right? Some questioning as to whether or not, you know, there's going to be another chapter. We have the Hanged Man and stop it. The way I put the cards down on the table, all of the sixes are grouped together. Yeah, this is somebody who still thinks about you but wants to release you. Struggling, right? There is indecisiveness here. Hello, Jennifer. How are you doing? I'm glad to hear it, Bianca. When will Gracie get an apology? I don't think you're going to get the apology you deserve. You might get like a halfy. Since I can't say that other word. I think this is somebody who is going to disappoint with like a hollow apology or never really give you an apology. Does he feel Gracie's energy too? Yes. Look for numbers, Gracie. There's going to be numbers that are repeating for you. I feel like the universe is frustrated because this is somebody who doesn't deserve your attention. I feel like you're going to be getting more and more signs that you need to release Jay. Let go. Goodbye. Adios. Evicted from the brain space. Why? Because we had the Emperor in the reverse and the Sun in the reverse. I'm going to try to say this as politely as possible. Jay is somebody who has a deficiency that might require purchasing truck nuts. No cojones. Okay? I'm not trying to insult people who literally don't have cojones, but this is someone who is putting on a masquerade that I feel like such a jerk right now. This is what's coming through the cards though. It's like, I want you all to see me as very manly, but I don't know how to be an actual man. Ugh. You might like crucify me for that. Okay, whatever. This is someone who is false. This is somebody who wants to present who they are, but they suck at it, okay? Authenticity? Where? Nowhere. I can't see it at all. This is somebody who is trying to be like a big billboard of masculinity, and they miss the point, you know? Like, Jay is an unskippable ad. An unskippable ad is pretty much a guarantee that I will never want to buy your product because you're obnoxious to me. I'm sorry for roasting you. This person ain't it. They're fake. It gets under my skin. I'm sorry. I had to say that. I hope you don't hate me now. Does he feel your energy too? Yes. But the universe is like, ew. Because it's just like this iteration, or it's like an example of how I feel something or I want something, but because I'm so worried about how other people think about it or view me, I don't do anything about it. And to me, that is like super immature, right? If you care more about what other people think about you, and that is more important than like dealing with your life authentically, are you in high school? Sorry, I will get off my pedestal here. Sorry. No more pulpit. Okay. Is he focused on the new person? No. He just wants people to think that he is. Is he an actor? Is that the goal? So we have the Nine of Swords and the Empress. This is like, I want arm candy, or I want people to think that I have everything figured out, or that I have what I want. Ooh, we have one more question. Yeah, he still has you on his mind, right? Obsessing over it, indecisive, wondering, like feeling like there's unfinished business here. Okay, good. No more on J. Hold on. How will my future dates go with N? How will Gracie's dates with N go? I would be cautious. This looks to me like somebody who is looking for a good time. This is somebody who is interested in physical intimacy, but with lovers in the reverse. This is like, I want that physical intimacy, but I don't want any of the emotional intimacy. Because we got the devil in the upright. I'm trying to strategically cover the body parts. This is someone who wants the physical closeness, the skin-on-skin contact, but don't really want to like know your brain and stuff. And not to like try to go too far here, but like, let's be real. If you want the physical intimacy, it's not going to be anywhere near as good if it lacks the emotional intimacy, right? Hello, Cody. How are you doing? Hello, Satbir. What's up? If you would like me to pull some cards for your questions, Satbir, you can put it in a super chat. So I would be cautious around N. And I think you know what I'm going to say next, Gracie. Date yourself. Ignore the other people. You don't need to have somebody interested in you to feel whole. In fact, I feel like you will fall in love with yourself or have like this glow up if you let everybody just chill over there for a bit and focus internally. So the reason that you keep getting sent devil energy is because you keep entertaining devil energy. Slam the door. Delete the dating app. Stop going to places where people are only looking to hook up. Go to a library. Write a book. Garden. You got so much going on for yourself. The reason you have these like not very mature energies coming your way is because you are not closing the door on them. So you can show everybody how much you respect yourself by just focusing on yourself, right? Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? No worries. Gracie, I love you. I'm sending you a big old hug. Date yourself. Have some time to yourself. It'll be lovely. And let them be confused. Let them wonder who you're dating. Ain't them. That's all right. But some alone time will do you good. All right. We got Unicorn Jungle up next. And this is the Touchstone Tarot. Give me a surprise message for Unicorn, please. Empress in the reverse, Knight of Cups. King of Coins, or the King of Pentacles. the surprise message for you is you have a period of, you know, like maybe 6 months or so ahead of you where the feminine energy gets kind of put aside a little bit and you have focus placed on your stability, and the more masculine side delights. So embrace the masculine side. Pursue the things that, you know, help to add to your stability. Two of Swords in the reverse, the Tower in the reverse. I feel like you're going to do something here that is not what other people expect, but it helps you to minimize the fallout from a future frustration. A Tower moment that won't impact you as much because you focused on coinage. It's okay. You got this, Gracie. Hello, Snowin. How are you doing? What other guidance does Unicorn Jungle need, please? Yeah, this is saying if you have the opportunity to work overtime or maybe even start a side hustle, get on it. Do it. There is some sort of financial storm brewing later this year, and I see you being able to anticipate this, leaning into some sort of entrepreneurial or like almost like a workaholic energy. Ask me how I know. And you end up being seen as very astute and like brilliant because you get ahead of the problem. And it's like in a drought, you're the one with the extra water. In what is the word? When we don't have money, you guys, or not money, when there's a lack of food, you have extra like canned beans. You know what I mean? You're anticipating something and you're squirreling it away. So now we have Queen Mary, Bloody Mary there. I don't really like her, you guys. I was a big fan of Elizabeth I, but I will give her credit. She at least did not kill Elizabeth I. This is basically saying anticipate that there is a problem and you are able to make it almost like it's not a problem for you at all because of that intelligent approach to it. Let me add that for you, Gracie. Standards can fade to N. What does he think? Thank you, Gracie. I've added that for you. Hello, Erin. How are you doing? So, Unicorn Jungle, there's going to be a lot of people around you that might not, you know, what is it called? Like put the storm shutters up before a storm. I remember seeing a picture of some like farmhouse that had surrounded itself with sandbags before a flood and completely protected themselves from the flood. That's you. You're able to protect your situation because you do planning ahead of time. And then with this 9 of Cups, you're sitting pretty. You got what you need. So do what you need to save some money or, you know, can some food for the basement. Hello, James. How are you doing? Hello, Ezio. How are we doing today? Thank you for the tip. Insight on who is my person. Let me add Lee. Judge said no to vacation, but didn't ask for myself. Will he allow me? I've added that for you. Thank you, Lee. Hello, Skull. How are you doing? Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Indra. What's happening? We're good on that, Jeremy. We could chill. I love this for you, Unicorn Jungle. This is one of my new favorite cards. I think that is such a beautiful kiddo. And I love horses. So look at those little teethers. For those of you that also like horses, I've been just like totally in love with the newest edition for the Clever Cowgirl. She has a little colt named Bruce. So yeah, if you want to check that out, she's awesome. I think you will, but first date yourself, right? Indra, put your question in the super chat. In the super chat. Here's the super chat. The question goes boop. Here's the super chat. The question goes right in here. Not so much here or here. Not even here, but right in here. I believe in you, Indra. You can do it. And I hope y'all got the reference, the movie reference with that. Okay, so then we've got, sorry, we're gonna have to go a little bit faster here. For Unicorn Jungle, is the ex still emotionally invested? This is the happiest card in the deck. Just keep that in mind, Unicorn Jungle. You got this. The ex is not still emotionally invested. 3 of Wands in the reverse. Sorry, that was the 9 of Wands. Sorry, they keep showing all of these ladies from like the Tudor dynasty. I think this is maybe Jane Seymour. If I'm right on that, this is like the short affair. Look, I feel like there is a distraction here for your ex. Page of Wands in the reverse. But it's like a flirtatious, not very emotional connection. And then we have the King of Swords. That could be Raleigh. I could very well be wrong on that. But I feel like this is someone who is either focused elsewhere on another person, for example, but not very emotionally, or this is somebody who is otherwise engaged with a project. So what about if this ex is feeling remorseful? Yes. We have the Hanged Man in a banana hammock. Sorry. I think that might actually be Jesus. I should not be making fun. Sorry, Jesus. And then the 10 of Wands in the reverse. I think that's the Anne of Cleves painting. So look, we got somebody here who does feel remorseful, okay? 10 of Wands in the reverse is like someone who feels overwhelmed. I feel like this is actually the reason why if I interact with somebody, it's like surface level only. It's superficial. I can't really get emotionally invested in that because it took me a long time to take back those emotional energies, right? Ooh, sorry, I didn't write down Indra's question. Next 2 months. And then, so I wouldn't say moved on, but let's ask, It's like I'm trying to move on. I have intentions of moving on, but the card itself is the Three of Swords. I'm still like heartbroken. I'm still looking backwards. I'm still struggling, but I would like to. So we have the Seven of Wands. I could get there eventually, but I'm not there yet. Is it time to let go of the nursery? Yes. It won't be easy, but remember that you are strong. You're very capable. So you got it. Thank you, Redbeard. Would you like me to pull some cards for you? Always with the jokes. Hello, Norma. How are you doing? I honestly, Erin, this is like one of my new favorites. This is the Touchstone Tarot. I very much so like it because if you cannot tell, I have a little bit of an obsession with Elizabethan slash like Henry VIII history. Hello, Urs. How are you doing? Please don't repeat your message. If you have a request, you can put it into a super chat, okay? Unicorn Jungle, I believe in you. You got this. Sending you a hug. Let's see what we've got for Nat Nat. What shall we use? Nat Nat, I feel... we're going to go with the Stained Glass Tarot. What does Nat Nat need to know about the person that is coming towards Nat Nat in love? Page of Cups in the reverse, Three of Cups, Strength, Hierophant in the reverse, Three of Swords in the reverse. This is someone who has felt unappreciated or even a bit emotionally neglected by a previous partner. This could be someone who cheated on your future partner, but we have a determination to work through and process those emotions, and they are healing from that breakup. They have had to redefine love and how they approach it and what they are willing to deal with or tolerate in a relationship. So with the Three of Swords in the reverse, a focus on healing, letting go or releasing the pain or the frustration associated with that previous relationship. Hello, Roja. Hello, John. I'm sorry you're going through that. I would say reclaim that energy and throw it into hobbies or things that really matter to you, maybe writing or some sort of creative expression. But you got this. Yeah, I don't think it's rebound. This is more so putting the emphasis on the fact that they are not going to be focused on the past. There's that King of Pentacles energy. Ace of Pentacles and the Magician in the reverse. So part of what they have acknowledged is that there was a little bit of insecurity in the past, and they have to let go of that. They might have been dealing with somebody who is controlling, but this is someone who is reclaiming that energy and focused on building stability for themselves. So this feels to me like this person is creating a sense of home in a new place, gaining confidence, and their intuition is improving as a result of that. Hello, Ashes. How are you doing? Hey, Roja, I'm deleting your message because you keep repeating the same thing. If you would like me to pull cards for you, you can put that into a super chat. Otherwise, Roja, please stop saying the same thing, okay? Hello, Hamza. How are you doing? I agree with that. It happens. I don't think you have too long to wait, Nat Nat. So this is someone who is established or feeling more established and ready to invest in something. I do feel like there is a lot of earth energy here, so it could be that this person is Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Or their focus right now obviously seems to be establishing that stability in their life. And they have this lovely intuitive energy. I hope that goes well for you, Nat Nat. And let's see what we've got for Gracie. This is the Bianco Nero. Of course I can. Can't you, Superman? I only wish that I was wearing my bat shirt when you asked me that. Thank you, Redbeard. So for Gracie, we've got okay, so the relationship standards were conveyed to N. What does he think? I don't like it. Hermit in the reverse. 5 of Cups in the reverse. All right. So I understand what your rules are. Doesn't mean I have to follow them. This is the kind of person who would be vaping at the neighborhood pool directly in front of the sign that says no vaping allowed. You have conveyed your standards, but simply communicating them is only part of the battle. This is someone who would test those rules by disregarding them. So this is someone who still feels like they can be successful even though they are hiding their true intentions. So they're trying to test you. They're trying to figure out, yeah, but how serious are you actually about that? So let's say you say you're not the kind of person to sleep with somebody quickly. They're like, okay, bet, let's see how quickly it happens. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I think it's kind of creepy. So when it comes down to it, I expect you to demonstrate how serious you are about those. Because this is someone who feels like they could disregard them. They feel like they have run into people like you before. And you need to be willing to cut things off with N if he is not going to respect those. So this is perhaps one of those times where you're able to communicate to everybody else, oh, so here are my rules, and here's what happens if you don't respect them. Adios, right? You're welcome, Nat Nat. Yes, these are pretty awesome. Hello, Jaggers. How are you doing? Hello, Fridge. I speak from personal experience. I saw someone doing that like 2 weeks ago. I almost took a picture, but I decided not to be disrespectful. Hello, Lord Bruch. You may call me Carmen, please. So Gracie, show your rules mean business, or that you mean business about your rules, because I don't see this person being respectful, and you deserve to be respected. Anybody who has boundaries, anybody who has rules of engagement, you deserve to be respected when you communicate those things. And anybody who thinks that it's okay to play about those, deuces. Adios. Yeah, no, I think focus on yourself. And if N asks for a reason why you're canceling, just say, I think I needed a little bit of time to myself. I don't want to rush into anything. But keep in mind that sometimes the best way to reject someone is to hold back the information, because a lot of people are just looking for a way to criticize or undermine your decision. The less you give them, the less that they can like nitpick at it, right? Yes, I agree with Rachel. Hello, Angel. How are you doing? It's okay, Fridge. We do enjoy rebels here. There might be a few rules that I've broken in my lifetime. But boundaries are different. Boundaries are important, right? Got to be respectful towards others. All right, so for Ezio, we've got, what insight is there on the next person? On who is, sorry, you mean like my person. Okay. What does Ezio need to know about Ezio's person? There is a big risk that you are going to feel like someone is your person and it's not your person. So if this could be somebody who literally tries to say, I'm your soulmate or I'm your twin flame. Someone who wants to put the idea in your mind that you cannot afford to lose them. So be cautious. This is a warning saying there is someone here who is going to pretend to be your person, and it is important for you to not get distracted by that person, because if there's someone who says, I'm your twin flame, like assertively, I consider that manipulation. I consider that manipulative for sure. You are the only person that can decide that. This is someone who gets in the way of you and your real person, so make sure that you recognize that so that you don't get distracted by this person, because we have the Seven of Swords. This is somebody who's not being honest with you. When you get past the fake one, when you sharpen that intuition and your discernment, then you get around the false signs, right? The false twin flames or false soulmates. So who is this person then? This is someone who is a bit of a loner, a bit of a hermit. They like to spend a lot of time alone in their place. With Temperance in the reverse, I don't think that they have felt understood by many people. So I don't think you're going to meet this person at a bar. I don't think you're going to meet them at like a show. They are seen as a bit of, I think people think that they're angry or antisocial. This is a very well-educated person, but problems arise when you understand things. It can make you feel a little bit like you don't know how to connect to others. So this is probably somebody who is always been seen as like wise for their age or a bit unusual. Hello, Amy. How are you doing today? Hello, Shruti. Let me add Amy's question real quick. Oops. Is I'm reaching out? Or wanting me to reach out first? I've added that for you. Thank you, Amy. I'm doing well, thank you. It's okay if you need to use shorthand, but they do add more the more you tip, so I think that's why they do that. Because of course YouTube gets a cut of that, right? Hello, Eric. How are you doing? This is how you tap into the intuition. I don't know. You can do a little research on tarot cards. So as far as this person being able to love, they come through as the Queen of Cups. They're a very loving person, but not a lot of people actually get access to them, right? Oops. So this person could be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. The thing is, a lot of people would view them as a King of Swords in the reverse, or somebody who is like antisocial, not very nice to them. They only show that like soft underbelly to a select few, the people that they actually trust. So they hold back that energy. So if they're a little prickly at first, don't give up. They will see that you are genuine and then show you that Queen of Cups side. I hope that helps ease you out. Let's see what we've got for Lee. And let me add this for Gracie. How does Benny... going forward, Gracie, don't add the secondary name. I just need like an initial if you need to specify, because there's more than one Benny. But I tried to avoid like full names, right? Think of me, just for privacy. All right, let's see what we've got for Lee. This is the Crow Tarot. The judge said no to vacation, but Lee didn't ask for herself. Will the judge allow Lee to go alone? No, doesn't look like it. Will the judge change his mind and allow Sage to go? No. Is there a chance that a different judge like taps in? Because with the Hierophant in the reverse, I feel like there's a change of the judge. Yeah, we have Hierophant in the reverse and the Emperor in the reverse. If there's a chance that somebody else gets to make this decision, that might make a difference, obviously. So is there someone else coming in? Yeah, I feel like there could be a potential for a change. So if there is a shift, then go ask your question again. Do you know what I mean? But I would talk to the lawyer about whether or not this is potentially a thing. But I see like there could be some discussions right now about whether or not this judge is like reassigned or retiring or something like that. There seems to be a question of whether or not this same judge will be in charge. And if that changes, then you might get your vacation. So I would talk to the lawyer, see if there's any opportunity there. Let's see what we've got for Indra. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. That means a lot to me. Yes, that could also be the case. Unicorn Jungle mentions an appeal. Hello, Daphne. How are you doing? So for Indra, we've got what is coming towards Indra in the next 2 months. Eight of Wands in the reverse, Six of Swords. Eight of Swords in the reverse and the Tower in the reverse. So we have 2 8s. And I've only pulled 4 cards. So that's very interesting to me. And they're both in the reverse. So to me, this is saying something that you felt was permanent or something that you felt would always be there. You're starting to see this differently. That could be how you feel for someone. That could be how you approach things. That could be your desires. But I see you being more introspective. Six of Swords is about moving into calmer waters. So as you are more pensive or more open to making a change, I see you being able to avoid a very stressful situation. Because with the Page of Swords in the reverse, you're taking something and being like more honest with yourself about it. Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. Three of Wands in the reverse. Five of Cups. Where you were editing out the negatives and focusing on the positives. Right? With this Knight of Cups, that's more like daydreaming energy, right? When you only see the good things about somebody as opposed to being able to see the comprehensive view. Now you're starting to realize it's not in my best interest to like gloss over the real details of the situation or the real attributes of a person. So with the Five of Cups, I see you looking at the past, the recent past, and acknowledging that you were looking through rose-colored glasses at a person or at your life. So you have a crossroads, Two of Swords, a moment where you need to make a decision. I think you know what this is. And what you previously considered to be the most likely outcome, now you're realizing maybe I need to do some things a little bit differently. Maybe I need to be more honest with myself about what the likeliest outcome is. I see you taking charge. I see you walking away from the ex. This is me proud of you. Can I give you a high five? High five. This is you saying, you know what? I think I can do things differently. I think I need to move forward. I think I need to stay distant from this person who makes things more toxic. Hello, Angel. Thank you for the tip. Let me add that for you. Will my record be expunged with the next 2 years? Do you mean within the next 2 years? I just want to make sure I'm asking appropriately. Thank you, Unicorn Jungle. Let me add that for you. Is TUJ getting a settle? Do you mean settlement? That's fair. Thank you, Angel. I've added that. That's fair. I'm going to assume that means settlement before hearing. I've added that for you. Thank you, Unicorn Jungle. I love that you said sauce. I haven't heard that in a while. All right, so anything else for Indra over the next 2 months, please? This isn't just sunshine and daisies and rainbows and lollipops, LOL. There's going to be moments where you fall back into old patterns, and that's okay. Forgive yourself. But with the Eight of Cups in the reverse, this is saying do not go back. The love that you saw reflected by your ex was really just the love that you gave to your ex. The love that you seek is not something that your ex can offer you. It's that you saw how much you love this person reflected in a mirror. Like your ex was holding up a big mirror. So the capacity to love you is not what you think it is. When you see that, then you're able to acknowledge what real love should look like, how someone should really treat you if they love you, truly. So again, forgive yourself. Do not be too harsh on yourself, but forgive yourself for the past. And I see you being able to heal from that and moving forward. The Chariot and the High Priestess with a renewed sense of confidence and a better sense of intuition. We're rooting for you, Indra. You've got this. Let's see what we've got for Amy. Is M reaching out? I'm going to ask them separate, okay, Amy? Is M going to reach out to Amy? Or is M expecting Amy to reach out? No. So M is planning to reach out, but worried about how things could go. and feels pretty certain that you're not going to reach out. Tell me more. This is someone who's a bit heartbroken right now. So does this mean that M is regretful over how M treated Amy? Four of Wands in the reverse and Death. Turbulence, tension, anxious, insincere. I feel like I was insincere. I feel like this is a good thing that has happened between the two of you, though, because M is realizing that there needs to be a change. So this Death card, it might tell a few people to be scared, but this is transformation. So does this mean that M is going to have a different approach to Amy going forward? Yes. This is someone who's willing to work on what has caused the difficulty in the past. I'm going to do things differently now. I recognize that I made this more difficult than it needed to be. So I caused the tension, or I made this problematic when it could have been a lot easier. So what can I do differently that will get a different result, right? I'm wishing you luck, Amy. And let's get back to Gracie. How does Benny S. think of Gracie? Hello, Fridge. It looks like they've already been letting you know, but you can pop your question into a super chat if you would like me to add it to the list. How does Benny feel about Gracie? How does Benny S. feel about Gracie? Seven of Pentacles, King of Cups, Page of Wands, and the reverse, Wheel of Fortune. This is someone who feels like you are a bit like undeveloped. Like when you're waiting for a Polaroid and you can kind of see the shape of what you were trying to capture with your camera, but it isn't quite there yet. This is someone who feels like you have a lot to offer, but you're still kind of figuring yourself out. This is someone who feels like there have been a lot of not amazing people around you, but that with that Wheel of Fortune, you have the potential to see the reality and change. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Benny feels like you don't necessarily take advantage of the intuition that you have access to. Stars in the reverse, or sorry, Star in the reverse. Eight of Swords in the reverse. But there's this belief that you're going to be able to see things more clearly soon. So this seems like a pretty wise person. So is this somebody who wants to see Gracie happy? Yes. This is someone who feels like there is a new start coming towards you, but that currently you are dealing with a lot of people who are temptations, not people who deserve to have a seat at your table. Oh, I recognize you. Guess what? I don't actually care about your opinion at all. I know who you are, and I'm hiding you forever. This is the person who thought that I hated Mexicans. Homie, what? I lived in Mexico. I have a deep appreciation for Mexican culture, not just tacos, but like, you know, I think I even answered your hateful message in Spanish because I loved my experience in Mexico, and I loved it primarily because of the people that I encountered. So homie's just trying to start some ish. We gone, we done, we don't need you around here anymore. Bye-bye. Hello, Angel. How are you doing today? Let me add your question. Will my daughter be granted. Back pay. Through now. I sure hope so, but I've added that for you rather. And there's just a couple people in front of you, Angel, and then I will get to you. All right, so Gracie, this seems like somebody who has a great head on their shoulders and wants to see you happy, but they see you dealing with a little bit of immature energy and they're hoping that you can overcome that, right? 8 of Cups, Page of Cups. I want to see you walk away from the people who don't know how to treat you right. So this is a good person to keep in your sphere, but remember, it's time for Gracie to date Gracie. A little bit of alone time. A little bit of like, I'm focused on me so that you can really know who you are, right? Hello, August. How are you doing? Also, Rachel, I feel like your comment about my right to bear arms, chef's kiss. All right, so let's see. I don't know if this is the same angel. I think it's, let me double check real quick. Okay, it is. So Angel, I'm gonna combine your questions. Unicorn Jungle, I hope you are okay with that. All right. Let's see. For Angel, we've got, will my record be expunged within the next 2 years? For Angel, will Angel's record be expunged within the next 2 years? No, it looks like it would take longer. Because now we have the 3 of Pentacles. I feel like there is some failure here, and it looks like it would be administrative or like bureaucratic. This looks to me like we're understaffed or we don't have the time. This is something that takes longer than it should. And it's mismanagement. Somebody who doesn't want to follow the rules or do things in the time frame that they should. It's a slow-moving beast. So because there is some chaos or understaffed kind of energy here, it takes longer. So is this like 2.5 years? It's closer to 3 years. Is there any way to expedite this? Yes. So as the King of Wands came out, the person that I saw was Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption. Shout out to Shaggy, more bucks. So Andy Dufresne is the main character in Shawshank Redemption, in case you have not seen that movie. And he writes letters to, I believe it's just a library, but maybe it's like a particular, I don't know if they mentioned it, requesting books so that they could start a library and he could start teaching people in the prison. So this is saying, do your best Andy Dufresne impression. I do feel like you can find a way to respectfully nudge this process along and get it closer to that 2-year mark. So don't give up on that. Just make sure that you're not offensive in it, right? What won out for Andy, I think, is the fact that he was consistent but not a jerk about it. It's true. Redbeard, literally earlier in this same live stream, I complimented you on your jokes. It's okay. Y'all are both funny. All right. And then will Angel's daughter with autism be granted back pay from June 2025 through now from Social Security? Yes. We have the Hermit and the World. It might be helpful if you make sure that they have all the information that they need, but I feel like, yes, that's going to happen. All right, let's see what we've got for Unicorn Jungle. And I'm going to add Fridge. And then, y'all, we're at 115 minutes. So I'm going to say no more super chats after Fridge, okay, y'all? I'm going to need to, like, take a water break and, like, you know, chill for a little bit. Did my ex C ever love me? Well, I sure hope so, but we shall find out for you. And why did he break up? All right, I've added that for you, Fridge. Let's see what we've got for Unicorn Jungle. We shall use the, which one? I think we have not used the Native American yet. So for Unicorn Jungle, is TUJ getting a settlement before the hearing? Is TUJ getting a settlement before the hearing? Thank you, Angel. I appreciate you. Yes, it looks very likely this person is going to be getting, or TUJ, maybe it's a company, right? It looks like TUJ is getting a settlement. However, with the Two of Swords in the reverse, I do wonder if it's slightly less than hoped for. Is this saying it's not quite what TUJ would want? Yes. So they're arguing for more, but they're still getting a settlement. We have Journey, or the Six of Blades in the reverse. So it's like being able to justify the kind of settlement that TUJ is arguing for isn't quite there. And then we have Justice, the reference to the actual courtroom. So yes, there will be a settlement. And let's see what we've got for Fridge. This is the B Tarot. Did Fridge's ex C ever actually love Fridge, please? Did Fridge's ex C actually love Fridge? No, I think this would be more so codependent energy. Ooh, okay, Fridge, but no more after that, okay? I am getting hungry and need to go. Let's see. So it looks like this is more codependent energy. We have the Five of Pentacles. This is someone who felt lonely and someone who felt like you would offer that energy. It's not that you are unlovable. Please do not take it in that way. But this is somebody who is codependent and looking for somebody that could help them to feel loved. So why did they break up with Fridge, please? Five of Jars, or Five of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Swords. There is something here that motivated the breakup, like connected to communication. I feel like you were trying to get something to change or get them to treat you differently. And they realized that that long-term desire wasn't necessarily there. Now I have you both blocked because I know you're the same person as Rezix. Adios. Okay, I got you. All right, so the breakup is really tied to feeling like you had expectations that C could not deliver on, and that what they could potentially get from the relationship was not enough to justify the like expectations or request. So it was like, okay, I guess I need to like get out of here, right? And what about career advice? What does Fridge need to know with regards to career? We have the Seven of Swords, the Hanged One, and the Knight of Swords, or Prince of Swords in the reverse. So it feels to me like there is a decision coming up for you as to whether or not to go this direction or this direction, but you are given the wrong information, or you need to trust your instincts because you can tell something is off,
or that someone is not being fully honest with you. I do see success in your future, but it is dependent upon you recognizing that what someone tells you is not necessarily aligned with what actually is capable of being delivered in that situation. So there's a different path that's approaching you. I do feel like you're going to be very happy and very successful, but you need to acknowledge that a company or employer is lying to you and go the other direction. It's like they're holding out on you. This would be like a company that's saying, yeah, we're going to give you a promotion, or we're going to give you a raise. We just can't do it now. What I see is you recognizing, no, I think you're just like giving me a line, and that's not actually what is going to be offered. So I hope that helps. I love you all. I gotta run. I'm tired. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And I will see you on